Sandeep, Jan, Ashwani, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here at the India Cloud Summit 2021 and really providing the perspective on how enterprises should structure their data protection strategy. Now, while you were listening to the panel, we were listening to you on hashtag ICS21. That's where the conversation is active on social media. Now, you can join in on LinkedIn and Twitter, and we have some great giveaways through the summit. Now, the word digital, coming back to the summit, is synonymous with experience. And enterprises across the world are looking to craft customer experiences that were earlier unimaginable. Our CXO panel, which is coming up now, is diving right into this: cloud adoption and the evolving customer experience. Please welcome Balaji Raghunathan, the VP of Technology and Digital Experience at ITC Infotech; Dharmaraj Ramakrishnan, the Principal Advisor for Technology at WhatsLoan; Unmesh Deshpande, CTO at Kingsway Hospital; Kushal Varshney, CTO at Virescent Infrastructure Investment; and welcoming back Ashwani Mishra, the Executive Editor at dynamiccio.com, to lead the panel. Over to you, Ashwani.
Thank you, Ashwin, for the introduction. We have an interesting mix of senior IT leaders from different industries for this panel. Welcome, Balaji, Unmesh, Dharma, and Kushal. I'm sure your views and insights will be valuable to all who are watching this session.
Thank you, Ashwini.
Thank you, Ashwin.
Over the last 20 months, we've witnessed a huge acceleration in digital adoption. We also saw a massive change that in some form has reshaped customer behavior and customer experience. The customer of today is self-isolating, prefers digital and contactless engagement channels. They are more conscious about spends. They are likely to make different lifestyle choices, at least in the near term. This has forced businesses to create differentiated experiences, and these experiences again need to be created across a broad range of popular channels to engage with audiences or customers through platforms of their choice. Traditionally, we saw the focus was more on building awareness and capturing attention of customers. Now, this has shifted towards becoming more relevant and delivering genuine emotional connections. In this panel, we'll discuss how cloud adoption is enabling businesses to create digital human experiences for customers, employees, and ecosystem partners. Let's start with you, Balaji. A good experience doesn't happen by accident. In today's digital era, this must be created and nurtured deliberately, often with the help of modern technology. How are you looking at customer experience through the cloud?
Yeah. Ashwini, actually, the way we are looking at customer experiences, how do you create a consistent positive experience for the customer end to end? So that means throughout their customer journey, the experience must be positive. So if we look at how do you create a positive experience, one is, we need to provide some kind of real-time feedback. We need to actually, design a very light, low-click journey from a digital perspective.
Right.
And on top of it, we need to actually have real-time capabilities and personalization for the customer. So we should actually provide the content they actually desire. So that's basically how we look at customer journey. And if we see how cloud has enabled it, today, most of the CRM software is on cloud. So in fact, I think the marketing department, which actually engages the customer, that is very active, on anything related to cloud adoption, SaaS adoption, and analytics adoption. And if you look at most of the AI use cases, they are all in terms of customer engagement. How do you actually create a frictionless customer journey? How do you create a frictionless customer experience? So that's how cloud has actually evolved as a pivot for anything on customer experience. So the first step is actually looking at how do you create a customer 360. You will have silos of customer data. You may have your customer data across multiple systems, be it ERP or CRM. So how do you bring it all together And once you have that single view of the customer, then you look at what are all the transactions the customer has made. So that's what we call as customer 360. So once you're actually ready with your single view of customer and your customer 360, then you can actually build your personalization engine with a lot of analytics. So you can actually get a lot of third party data. It could be from, say, Google Analytics or any other systems, and that's how all this gets blended into a customer data platform that actually feeds back into your experience channel. And essentially, again, when you look at anytime, anywhere, any device kind of requirements today and real-time requirements today, that's where actually cloud plays a pivotal role. So essentially, like, you have the agility to scale up and scale down when the demand actually becomes very high. So I think that's the other key factor where cloud is playing a big role. Actually, cloud is playing a big role, and so that's how we look at the entire customer experience being focused on the cloud as the key enabler. Actually.
Right. So, a couple of good points that you mentioned, Balaji. So creating a frictionless customer experience, having a 360 customer view, and then creating those personalized experiences for each one of them. Unmesh, from Kingsway Hospital's perspective, how are you trying to connect the entire patient care hospital engagement using cloud? I believe you moved from an on-prem to a cloud model in the recent past.
Yes. Yeah, that's a nice question. And I got a lot of information to be shared over here. We had the on-prem solution for all our CRM and etc. Now, during past 20 odd months, when this pandemic really came in, it was the test for our own IT team to enable not only our customers, but also our employees to work from home. I mean, working from home for a healthcare organization like us was unheard anywhere. So what we did was we enabled remote accesses to the respective application. So we published overnight all our application, taking all the security aspects into consideration, so that our HR, finance, and all back office could work from their homes and they were safe. However, the nursing staff and the clinicians and IT, we had to come to the office. Now, customer experience, the COVID has been a severe teacher for all of us. The separation of a family member by admitting to the hospital and not having connect till he is successfully discharged or otherwise, it's a lot of traumatic and emotional kind of a feeling. What we did was we immediately hosted some media solutions on the cloud, connected all the patient rooms using high definition but secured way of connecting cameras to that cloud, and offered a 24/7 video conferencing facility to all our patients and their relatives. So, in a 40-inch HD TV in front of the patient, his entire family was there 24/7. That created a huge customer experience, and we were the most preferred location for anybody to get admitted during COVID times.
So I'm sure this would have created a great impact, Unmesh.
Yes.
So that's
yes, and it also added a lot of value to Kingsway's being a state-of-art and modern healthcare facility, but also it added to the brand image of how we care for our patient. So the punchline of Kingsway is personalizing healthcare, and no personalization can be so personalized by giving a dedicated video conferencing channel to each patient. That is the reach of IT, which was possible because our HCI internal cloud architecture, which was immediately exposed to the internet using a security layer. I think that's a really feather in our cap, what we achieved, and that feel-good factor still continues.
Right. A great initiative that way, Unmesh. And healthcare, again, there is no alternative but to be nimble, agile, and be transparent. With the kind of rollout that you have carried out. to deliver critical healthcare services. So we'll come back to you and hear more from you. Dharma, let's have your views. WhatsLoan again is a loan as a service provider. How have you looked at the cloud model to create better customer experiences?
Thanks, Ashwin. Lovely question. So we are a technology service provider for the banks and financial services industry at large, focusing more on a customer experience as the key element in our journey. So during the pandemic, we had a couple of instances where we signed up with one or two customers where the entire journey otherwise would have taken manual processes and visiting to the branch and collecting the information, so on and so forth, especially on the agri part. So we could able to quickly turn it around and create a platform which can easily used across virtually. When we rolled out from a bank's point of view, it was a complete virtual training, virtual rollout end to end. And we are a cloud native platform. And the experience, this number of steps which otherwise the customer used to go through to get a loan has been drastically reduced, because thanks to the technology infrastructure and the ecosystem across our country, which also blessings to overcome some of these challenges during these unprecedented situations. So that way, it was a wonderful experience, and there was no disruption as far as the customer is concerned. He was experiencing a great journey as far as the engagement with the financial institution. So that was a wonderful journey he had, and the feedback was also phenomenal, and the numbers are going good. So now this change is also happening as a result of digital transformation. The way you operate from a business processes point of view, that also getting changed. So that way, it was a lovely experience, and I think the ecosystem what we have today in our country, there is a huge opportunity to connect within the organizations and externally, and also complete diversification in terms of industries. Not just the BFSI. If you look at any of the industries, you can hook up and get the journey going. So that way, I think this pandemic has taught us many lessons and an opportunity to innovate. And it's like the saying goes, situational challenges always put you at tough situations, and you will overcome by way of solving the problem.
Right. Kushal, let's hear from you. So Virescent Infrastructure again is a company that manages solar assets located in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, if I'm correct. How are you looking at cloud for maybe internal customers or external, and what are the advantages that you have seen?
Yeah, thank you, Ashwini, for asking that interesting question. See, first thing is, if I tell you, so we are born in pandemic. Last year, this company was incorporated, and we are digital first. And that time, everyone was working from home. So officially launched in October 2020 by KKR. And in pandemic, we acquired 5 companies from Shapoorji Balaji, 4 from Syndicatum. And all this we have achieved while everyone was working from home. We have implemented SAP S/4HANA. We are early adopter, I think maybe first or second customer in India for private cloud edition. It's a new offering from SAP. Okay. Again, pure SaaS model. So with that kind of growth, inorganic growth, and I think it is not just applicable for our industry. See, if you see now, digital has penetrated each and every area of our life, everywhere, like be it Alexa, be it WhatsApp. So we have to think digital and those smartphones. So earlier, if someone asked, okay, do you think those people will be our villagers or someone else will be able to use smartphones or they'll be able to do digital transactions? I think now India is number 1 globally in terms of digital transactions. So that has paved way for going digital in each and every area. And if I talk about from a customer perspective or from a monitoring perspective, we have to monitor so many sites, and then we are growing inorganically. We are acquiring companies by companies, and now we are almost 400 megawatt company, and we are growing. We are further acquiring more companies. We have floated in weight. We have raised further more than, I think, 2,000 crores in debt. We have raised funds also last week. So the pace at which we are growing for us, other than cloud, it is not possible. We can't plan our inorganic growth, and to support that kind of growth, cloud is the only way. Cloud or SaaS model also. So we are using good amount of SaaS applications also. And I just want to touch base what other panelists also highlighted regarding the customer journey part, which I have seen everywhere. So be it acquisition to retention, we have to be present where our customers are and how we can make their life easy. And when we are saying acquisition to retention, it is their servicing, addressing their concerns, and how we are making them feel happy so that they are repeat customer and they are definitely doing word of mouth publicity. So social networking if we think like we are totally digitally surrounded. I don't think anyone is not using WhatsApp. I think most of the people are using WhatsApp now. WhatsApp has also started payment. I think UPI based payment also they have started. So I don't think with that kind of inorganic growth, with 5G coming around the corner, with fifth industrial revolution, and our honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi giving a vision of one world, one sun, one grade, which is a very ambitious task. And globally, if we have to collaborate that kind of data, we don't know what will be the data volume, what will be the growth. And if we have to monitor and we have to ensure we generate maximum energy from existing same installed capacity on same land parcel. So we need cloud technology, big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence. So I think to support all this kind of speed and agility kind of developments, cloud is
the way to go. Right. So points well taken from all four of you. So we are in unison to state that cloud technology has the power to improve customer experience, attract new customers, retain existing ones. So we are all in unison here. Moving on, so the customer journeys are also changing, and each one of you touched it in some form, and so does the manner in which we manage it. And the big push now is towards an experience kind of a cloud, which brings together things like customer data, digital experience, and personalization to create an efficient, modern way to interact and monitor customers. Now, how are you looking at creating such kind of experience cloud for your users? Unmesh, do you want to take it? There was some app that you were planning to create, a super
sure.
app.
Yes. So what we want to do is we want to bring all these islands, the customer in our case is the patient or their relatives, the clinicians, the senior consultants, the OT staff, the floor staff, and hospital is a large paraphernalia of different and diverse roles. These roles, when they work in unison, it gives a productive, effective, and efficient organization. So how do you use technology to bring in effectiveness and efficiency in the organization is to unify them. How will you unify them? Having a common compute platform. So creation and necessity of a super app came into being. So we are in the process of building a super app. So whatever you download from the Google Play Store or iOS App Store, Apple Store, will be same for everybody. The moment you enter your given credentials, your role and ecosystem would automatically get aligned. So the entire ecosystem, if it gets properly aligned and connected, then there is no miscommunication. Everybody is in sync in what's up and what's happening. For example, patient has downloads the same app and enters his UHID number, which is unique hospital identification number, and enters his mobile number for two-factor authentication with an OTP. So he becomes registered in app also. He's already registered with us as a patient, or even a new person can register himself and make the registration process right from his phone. So his onboarding is just a click away. So patient, when he does that and wants to seek an appointment of a certain doctor, he can do that. If he wants to look at his previous medical reports over here, that data is available. He goes to a different place and to a different hospital. He can show that EMR, electronic medical record, to the new hospital and new consultant, which is meaningful to that. So unified databases and in line of a standard and single data lake model, which will also be interoperable on HL7 and other computing standards in healthcare. So interoperability can be achieved using this super app. Super app can only be possible through a data layer or data lake lying on the cloud as a single platform, wherein all the entities resulting or giving the effective results for any query, any request are present there and then. This also will bring in technology efficiency and predictability. So that is what our approach is, to enabling cloud to the patient first and unified application kind of a strategy.
Right, so improving patient care and actually taking it to a different level, so you're actually addressing the entire ecosystem within the healthcare environment.
Because in our case, the patient is the focus, is the center of activity, is the purpose of our being.
Absolutely, yes. Balaji, how are you looking to create such kind of experience cloud, more around personalization? You touched upon them initially. If you could share in detail.
Yeah, I think one portion what Unmesh was talking about, that's the first step, right? If you want to actually, provide, again, I'm using the same term, frictionless customer experience, you need to know, you need to have a single view of your customer. So you need to integrate all your data into a data lake, or now people have different other architecture names for that. They call it as lake house, or they even call it as data mesh, right? So but essentially what you need to do is you need to bring your data into a single data lake, and then see whether you need your partner data and you need your third party data, and then mix and match these, and then on top of it is you will have your customer historical transaction data. So you mix and match this, and then you build a personalization engine out of it. But the way in which now things have changed is like, it is not just a batch mechanism. You need to actually provide real-time experience. So that's where the customer experience has become
extremely
demanding, I would say.
Yes.
Right. So for example, I'll take an example. As a bank, one of the challenge what we have seen some of our banking customers face is, as soon as you log into your banking app, if it's your birthday, you will be sent a greeting, right? Now again, if you go into an ATM and put in your card, and if it's your birthday, you get an alert saying that happy birthday, and again you log on to your website, and again you get another notification saying that this is happy birthday.
Right.
The customer, instead of that improving your customer experience, it actually makes a customer angry at you. So the next level of customer experience is deciding whether the customer has even been provided that greeting, and to ensure how the customer is not annoyed through your customer experience initiatives. So for that, what you need is, apart from your historical information, you need the contextual information. So that's where you see a lot of contextual data getting collected, behavioral data getting collected, and there are a lot of advancements which are happening in the emotional analytics space.
Right.
So you actually,
and all of them through the cloud, I believe.
Correct. Everything is through cloud. So essentially, like, what you end up capturing is the voice data. Based on the voice data, you get to know whether your customer is angry or no, and you will have speech analytics, you will have your text analytics, and you will have some of them are even piloting facial analytics to see if the customer is really happy with an experience, or when you show a product, or whether they're not happy. So I think some of those are evolving. So essentially, context is becoming a lot more important on top of analytics, to ensure that your customer experience is improved and it's not annoying, actually. So I think this we have seen in a lot of retail or service oriented industries,
right,
more than the supply chain based industries. So it's happening more on the front end side of it. So that's how I would say context being the next layer.
Kushal, I know you come from an industry which is more towards the renewable energy piece, but how are you trying to create that experience cloud, if it is in the process?
So previous company was also renewable sector, and this one also. So we implemented CMS application. So previous was more into C&I space. So we were having B2B customers, and it was more in OpEx model. So like all the big companies, including Tata, Mahindra, AWS, all were our customers. We have, or Honda. So we have installed rooftop on their factory premises, including breweries, and the intention was, as much as we generate, we both will have more money. So they'll save more money because we are selling electricity at a cheaper price, and if we are generating more, then our revenue will increase. So it's a win-win for both the cases. So they were also interested in monitoring the data, how their plant is performing.
Right.
So we implemented a CMS application using IoT, and it was on cloud hosted, and any part of the world you can from your laptop browser, or there was a mobile app available through which you can check how your plant is performing, what is the generation till date, how much CO2 abatement is done, which is equivalent to how many number of trees planted, what is the generation today. And we also substantiate that with some ML AI kind of capabilities. For example, there are states like Rajasthan, or we were having plants in UAE. So there are dust storms, right? Now, if you want to do a manual policing, it will take huge amount of time. It will not be possible for that a vast scale. So if there is dust storm, and basis MLA algorithm, if system will alert and generate a meaningful ticket to the O&M contractor, go and visit that site, there is a dust storm. Otherwise, we will lose entire month revenue, because next cleaning cycle may be after 15 days or after a month. So lots of MLAI based bucketing of losses. So how we can increase the generation. We were also taking the data from a preventive maintenance perspective, inverter data. So before my inverter breaks down, I will alert, like there is a likeliness this inverter will break down. So rather than having a 1 or 2 day of plant downtime, will take corrective action, and definitely will save money. Some equipment getting faulty, and with minor investment or minor repair, it can be maintained. So lots of such initiatives we took. In fact, we delivered some smart displays in places like Pune University, where it was more from in the VC room, it was projected, a vice chancellor room. So where the what I explained, it was a live feed. So it was a plant photographs, as along with that, this CO2 or trees planted, this kind of thing. It was auto reflecting, auto changing every now and then, and that TV display we can control remotely also. So it was end-to-end thing which we have planned. So we were present on a display, on mobile, on browser, and wherever. So if customer wants some alert on mail, so those reports were also configured. So from that perspective, we have tried to localize it. And if someone wants some detailed report with charts, someone want dashboard, so that kind of customization, someone prefer pie charts, someone prefer some bar graphs or other things. So all those kind of customization was possible in that CMS app, and that was evolving. So we keep on doing lots of things in that app, and then now here also we are implementing CMS. And one thing, if I say in general, for customer experience perspective, and which is very local perspective, so I think recent Cadbury ad is a very perfect and classic example.
Yes.
Where you are hearing same Shah Rukh Khan, but he might be talking about a shop which is next to your in your colony or in your area. So that is something, I think that is the level, or I think that is just a beginning. It's a one benchmark with which all will achieve soon. But I think that's an indication, that's the future where we are heading towards. So be it medical sector or any other sector, including automobile and all other sectors, I'm seeing is like how personalized how we can have more empathy towards the customer, how we can try to be in his shoe, because then we can cross sell, we can sell him more, how we can service him well, how we can make him feel delighted, rather than, and in fact, any negative sentiment is there, we have to plug that immediately, we have to fix
immediately.
it. So that is very critical.
Right. Dharma, your views?
I echo with all the co-panelists. Primarily, if you look at from a perspective of BFSI, where the collaboration is inevitable today, the kind of fintech disruptions are happening and the data, which is the key element for keeping this customer at close to the organization's business objectives. So every fintech, if they generate a lot of data, and that has to go back to their organizations and get the common data lake, and then you have to come up with new models for the customers, whether it is cross-sell, upsell, or even engaging with the customers, as like Balaji said, how you will give him a delight. The old day delights are not good now, because you need to have a really different feeling about
yes.
the engagement. So I think data play a pivotal role and very vital role in keeping your business going very fast and growing as well. And the second most important aspect from a data point of view, if you look at those days, people are okay to wait for a 3-day period or a 5-day period. Even if you look at a farm loan, he can wait for 20 days to get a farm loan. Today, people wanted to get the loan within 30 seconds or 30 minutes or 1 hour, 2 hour. The decisions, not the money per se, at least the decision. So where some of the fintechs, where I'm an advisor to WhatsLoan, so where we are also trying to do an interesting stuff, providing the bankers to look at the data from satellite and see whether the loan given is absolutely used for, other utilized for the cultivation of whatever the crops they are creating. So to that extent, the technology is evolving, and this will definitely will be possible only when you have scale up and scale down opportunities, when again you will turn down to an opportunity which is completely focused on cloud. So the cloud is the key aspects which drives all ecosystem. When it comes to financial services, only a little bit of caution we need to take is from a security aspect and the data privacy policies, etc., which are around the corner as far as our nation is concerned. So those aspects we need to be a little bit careful, and whenever we construct the ecosystem from a framework point of view, we should be very mindful about all these aspects. Otherwise, it's a great journey ahead. I can see next 5 years, banking is not important. The opportunities, the bankers are even selling today their debit cards and credit cards by giving some discounts and paybacks, etc., and say free launch facility. I mean, things will go beyond that. You should have a co-creation opportunity everywhere.
Right, I'm sure. So any final thoughts, final comments, before, I guess we have neared the cutoff time. Any final thoughts that you would want to make in terms of how or the expectations that you have from the cloud to enhance customer experience in the future? Quickly, so anyone, please.
So from my point of view, one thing, the cloud partners also should be very focused on the underlying regulatory guidelines and principles, so that it can be very, most of the players today in the fintech space, they don't even know the regulatory aspects of it. But I'm not generalizing, but I'm specific on certain line of business where fintechs may not be aware of the regulatory aspects. I think that area, the cloud providers can step in and give some additional inputs, etc., so that can help them to grow.
I agree with Dharmaraj.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So I agree with Dharmaraj, and I think if we all have seen, like in last couple of years, at what pace data is growing and what pace technology is intruding our personal space. Definitely, data privacy is coming in, but at what pace we are integrating, like how much privacy or how much information is available in our smartphones or Alexa or personalization thing we are talking about, and with blockchain coming in. So and because he shared a case regarding a loan, like I can check my CIBIL rating or CRIF score, and basis that I can get an instant loan, and definitely information is being exchanged and it is being passed on to some central agency. So those kind of things are coming in, basis which We have never imagined, like if you remember when the Jio SIM cards were issued, immediately within a minute you can validate and you can get the SIM card. Earlier it used to be a 1 day or 2 day validation
Right.
process, and then you will get it. You have to share a whole lot of documentation. So the way government is supporting all this, with that there are industries which are disrupting other industries and they are growing exponentially. It is not like you need a huge setup, so everything is available on lease model or rental model or subscription or opex model. And then definitely cloud help a lot in terms of boosting all digital transformation across
Industries.
and across economies.
Yes, sir.
I think there's a huge migration happening from on-prem to cloud, mainly in these pandemic months. But at the same time, CSPs should ensure that the customer's data, that is, whoever is taking a tenant place on the cloud, is absolutely maintained with the confidentiality, data privacy policies, and at no cost, without any consent from the customer, that data should be compromised.
Right.
Data
Right.
availability has to be 24/7, and it should better 5 nines. There could be some critical operations or critical customer, like take case of healthcare. If I go 100% to the cloud, then every surgery that is happening in my operation theater needs that 100% uptime.
True. Yes.
Technologies are available.
Sure.
Geographic stability is there, connectivity is there. So I think CSP should seriously look into that and increase the customer experience as far as we are concerned.
Right. So points well shared, Unmesh. Data availability and security of that particular data. Balaji, final quick thoughts.
Yeah, one is I think there needs to be more effort on the verticalization of the clouds, because say what a manufacturing industry would need would be a lot more different from say what a financial institution would need. I think there are steps in that direction, but definitely there needs to be more focus on the verticalization of the clouds. Apart from that, yeah, I mean, I agree to the data security and the data privacy aspects. And the third is probably the interoperability between, the public clouds. I think these are probably what we would actually be expecting. It's all there from an API perspective, but I don't think there are too much awareness in terms of multi-cloud opportunities and how these clouds are interoperable.
You are right.
Right.
You are right. I think everyone should have a genuine thought process in this and standardize the entire ecosystem. So then it will be a lovely experience cutting across all industries.
Right, points well taken, and these are genuine concerns, Dharma, Balaji. So I'm sure the providers are or would be trying to look and addressing these in the future. Right, I'll quickly sum up the conversation. It's beyond doubt that companies are looking to discover new methods to acquire, service, and support customers through virtual and touchless points of contact. The human experience or the customer experience is an increasingly important growth driver. And advanced technologies are going to play a critical role here. For many organizations, the cloud certainly is a key foundation for the CX or the customer experience capabilities that they will need to compete today and in the future. Thank you, Unmesh, Dharma, Balaji, Kushal. It has been a pleasure to interact with you all and get some interesting insights. I hope our viewers find the same. That is all from this session. Stay tuned for the next segment coming to you in a moment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ashwin. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.